Hello, my name's McVicker, brother of John. Dean Gould is sick, and he's asked me to present Out of Our Heads 5 with Bubble. Today we have on our show no Hubble Bubble or item show, as Dean is sick. Exclusive interview with Neil Innes from Monty Python, Bonzo Dog Doodah Band, Ruffles. Lots of Fran's World. Comedy characters, PC World, Limbic Game, Sylvester Stone and Mr. Flashman. And me. Dean Gould beating Eric Bristow at darts. Dean doing world records with beer mats. You stupid boy. Mistakes by Chongo. Lead us not into temptation, just tell me where it is. Jesus says he loves me, but I'm worried about the age difference. Time for a prayer. Amen.
So in 15 minutes, I go. Okay, how am I feeling? A little nervous, a little anticipatory. Hoping I don't have to go to the bathroom. I've gone like 7 times this morning. Really excited. Last year, July 10th at this time, I was climbing Kilimanjaro. Now it's July 10th, and I'm going down the total opposite way, down to the bottom of the sea. Whoa, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
The Titanic bow lies 2.5 miles down at the bottom of the North Atlantic Ocean. The one still picture I was able to get of me with the Titanic. Captain Smith's cabin. All that's left, a tub.
Now we are going a little down.
A third-class porthole window. Look at the rusticles that formed. A first-class window on deck C. Look at the albino sea life. Piping in the stern section. The Titanic's propeller is buried in the sea floor. A cup with White Star insignia lies in between the broken stern and bow, which is 1,970 feet apart. I'm here at the Titanic with Adrenaline Adventures, the same book that was at the top of Kilimanjaro. I'm now doing a book signing to Antoli, who is our pilot here. Anatoly.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's wonderful. Wonderful book.
Ripley's, believe it or not, one of my sponsors. Me and Atoli and Masai will be in the Ripley's book next year because I did a book signing down at the Titanic. The blue pendant is shown because I told my mom I would bring this down here for her when I was at the Titanic. This is a prayer that was given to me from the U.S. Navy chaplain. Now at the site of the ship, although the physical bodies of the 15-17 victims have long departed, the souls continue to cry out to us from the depths of the sea. They haunt our minds with their story, so we ask you, God, to long lay to rest those passengers. At the bottom of the ocean. Back on the Keldish, and then I can go to the bathroom. It was great. You guys are going to love it.
Evening all. PC World here. I have in my notes of a theft of 2 police cars. I caught this slimy poor excuse for a thief, red-handed, sitting in one of our police cars tonight. He said he did not know they were police cars, as he was from Liverpool. As they look different down south, I know we've had cutbacks and recently rebuilt and touched up a few 1960s police cars. For once, I believed a thief. I did arrest him and took him down to the police station. His name was Nick Moore, of no fixed ability. My sergeant was furious when I told him of this episode. He checked both motors and said 2 black bags of DVDs had been stolen. You see, Sergeant was selling the DVDs off. I'd seen one of the DVDs with my wife the other night. My wife said, once you've seen one, you've seen them all. PC World here. Good night.
Omelette game. Instead of throwing javelin, I throw paper aeroplanes. Watch. See? More difficult. Omelette game. Instead of carrying an Olympic torch, I carried a lit candle last night. I dropped it and my house burnt down. See? More difficult. Omelette game. Instead of drinking sports drinks between events, I drink tomato ketchup. Watch this. See? More difficult.
Felixstowe TV are highly honoured to have here at the Cork Bar Felixstowe Neil Innes. Everyone has heard of Monty Python, the Ruttles, the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. Remember the song? The Urban Spaceman? I'm the Urban Spaceman.
It's all coming back.
Neil, welcome to Out of Our Heads. Now you're performing here tonight with your band. What's it called?
It's not my band. The band's called Frets, and they're very, very much involved with it. But they very kindly offered to accompany me on a couple of songs.
Right.
But I'm going to do some of my own songs first.
Oh, excellent.
Then some with them, and it's all for
fantastic.
the head and neck job.
Now you're a patron of a charity with the Cork Bar. Can you tell us how you got involved and what the charity is all about?
Well, Steve, who runs it all, he got in touch with me with the community TV people in Ipswich, and we made a little film about it. And I was really amazed because I thought, how many more things does cancer have a go at? And I hadn't heard of head and neck cancer.
No.
And I don't think many people have. But and it sort of affects you rather like a fridge. It kicks in. No, the thing is that things can be done, and this film was really to show people once they've been diagnosed, because it's obviously a kind of shock that you're in when you're diagnosed for something that's like that. But it isn't all doom and gloom. They've got a terrific team there at Ipswich, and they help people, and they give them the right treatment, the right encouragement, and they've got a very good, success rate with it.
That's fantastic.
So, and I mean, isn't it a shame you have to have fundraisers like this instead of it coming out with some kind of taxes that we pay?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
I'd rather, so people stood with buckets with money, asking for money for the Afghan war. But that's just me.
Right. A few questions. What was the most exciting part of your career? Was it the Pythons, the Rattles, or the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band, or is it something totally different?
No, it's a day off in 1968.
Day off in 1968.
No, the Bonzos were worked to death really. For 5 years we went on the road and we did 26 television shows, made 5 albums, toured all over the place, America. We bought out 3 managers, and then we'd all thought we'd had enough, and because we were all art students, you see, and complete strangers to work, so we needed to lie down. But the next thing I know is that the guys that we'd been working with on a program called Do Not Adjust Your Set turned into Monty Python.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So they ring me up and say, hey, can you help us out with some songs? And so I start helping them out for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And before, I found myself in show business by accident.
Because you actually wrote the songs for the Rattles, didn't you?
Well, I did, yeah. The Ruttles came about because I did a thing called Rutland Weekend Television with Eric Idle. And the idea was that Rutland, being the smallest county, it would have the smallest television station with the smallest budgets.
All right.
And that was meant a license to make cheap television. I think you probably know something about that. But the thing is that BBC loved it. Ooh, cheap television. And at the end of the first series, I heard one of the suits from upstairs in a little hospitality suite talking to another suit, saying, "And do you know, the whole series cost less than one Lulu show." So anyway, the idea was doing cheap gags, and I thought it'd be fun to sort of send up the Beatles' Hard Day's Night. And so I did a silly song. If you put 4 guys in tight trousers and pointy shoes and wigs and run around a field, it's cheap, black and white. Like Benny Hill speeded up.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. And then because someone at the same time was saying, why don't the Beatles get back together? And they were offering them $20 million each. And it's a silly joke. And so in New York they were doing a television program called Saturday Night Live, and we just latched onto that. And everyone, before we knew where we are, it was being made.
Are you still in contact with any of your the stars that you've worked with in the past?
Well, only yesterday I saw Sam Spoons from the Bonzos, Andy
right.
Roberts, and and I saw Terry Gilliam a month or so ago.
Oh, right.
We're not in each other's pockets. I've just read Michael Palin's new book, The Truth, the novel. It's really good.
All right.
And we stay in touch. Yeah.
So, what is your future plans? Anything in the pipeline?
Lots. I'm doing a one-man show, which is evolving all the time, called The People's Guide to World Domination. Right. And it involves lots of audience participation. We might do some of those tonight, actually, because it's good fun. It involves immature themes like blowing raspberries and thumbing your nose. And I want to make a film of it, not like a video of the show, but film some parts of the show, especially the audiences doing it, and then make a film like you would if it was like the Guinness Book of Records that we made for BBC.
Yeah, I used to watch that years ago.
Well, that's it. We've got all the stuff now. You can do it yourself.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. And I'm also working on a series of audio memoirs. And this is a lot of fun. I'm doing that at home. Instead of writing a book, I'd rather talk into a microphone because I'm a microphone man.
Right.
And I can ring up my central nervous system and ask to speak to my intellect. And I'd be sort of fobbed off with sort of, who may I ask is calling? It's the author, All right, one moment, and that sort of thing. Because I think we don't think enough about what we think about.
No,
because when you think about it, we spend most of our lives thinking. If we're not actually thinking, we're certainly having thoughts. And if you think that just having thoughts isn't proper thinking, well, it just doesn't bear thinking about, does it?
Okay. Well, it's a pleasure to interview you, Neil.
Well, my pleasure too.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, anybody who's coming here to support it, thank you very much. And keep supporting it. And, that's the only way to get things done. And in the end, I mean, the crowd thing that the BBC keep going on about, the Olympics, I hate that expression. People are one at a time.
Right,
and people who want to turn crowds into baying mobs have to be watched carefully.
Yes, carefully.
So, one person, one at a time, and we'll all get better.
Neil Innes at the Cork Bar, Felixstowe.
Welcome to another cup of capo. Now I am here on 18th Street between 6th and 7th Avenue at the Manhattan Pavilion. Why? Because they are having a Bravo event with Around the World in 80 Plates. As you can see, the people are right behind me over there, and they're interviewing the contestants, they're interviewing the housewives of New York City, they're interviewing a whole bunch of people that are on the Bravo network. Now, what does today's Cup of Capo have to do with? It has to do with being at the right place at the right time. Why? Because as I was online, I wound up meeting other people that had interviewed me in the past. And I figured, I wouldn't have seen them otherwise had I not come to this event. So, just remember, if you want to get something done, or if you want to be noticed in any way, you have to get out there and be seen. Nobody's gonna come to your house and go, hey, let me knock on the door and see if I can figure out who you are, what you need, how to market you. So you need to get your butt out there if you want to move ahead in life. Grand Capo at the Bravo event.
Sylvester Stone here. I'm American. I'm a Yank. People say I'm not American, but I can prove I'm a Yank. I got this letter from Auntie Daphne in Mississippi. It says, "Hi Sylvester, have you joined the army yet? Hey, I'm in the UK. How can I join the US Army in the UK? Because I'm an American. I'm a Yank." It goes on to say here, have you got your passport yet? Hey, how did you think I got through customs? Turned into a ghost and walked through checkouts and everything. What's this? Yeah, I'm gonna get your favourite foods and drink for when you're over in America. Fish and chips, pot noodles, steak and kitty pie, pineapple lemonade. Hey, what's you on about? I eat burgers, drink Coca-Cola and Pepsi, because I'm American. I'm a Yank.
Ladies and gentlemen, and for viewers joining us on the mirror.co.uk website, a very warm welcome to the Camera Beer Festival for 2012. This is our world record attempt as we achieve 301 darts down a leg in under 36 seconds. Eric Bristow, how confident are you at doing a leg of darts in under 36 seconds this afternoon?
No problem.
Mr. Keith Dillon, come on in, the 1983 World Darts Champion. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Please show your appreciation for effort number 1 from Dean Gould. Holds the record for the fastest leg of 301 darts at a time set of 36 seconds. 301 down, it's game on. '21. Two scores. 1983 World Darts Champion, it is Keith Dillon. The best of luck, Keith. 301 down, game on. 45. 40. Keith requires 74. That is 36 seconds reached now. Okay then Eric, 301 down then. Attempt number 1, best of luck. It is game on. 21. 85. 100. Eric requires 95. No score. This is Dean's 5th and final scheduled attempt. Do you want the practice? '85. 80. 136 now, Dean. 45. 91 you need, Dean. 30. 61. 45. You now need 16, Dean. Yes!
33 seconds.
33 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, we just witnessed a brand new world record. It is going to be 301 down. Final attempt from Keith Dillon. Game on. 135. 36. 130 left now, Keith. Yes! A 130 takeout. Let's have a quick read. Ladies and gentlemen, the record at the start of today was 36 seconds. You people here witnessed Dean Gould break his own world record and reduce it to 33 seconds. We people here present have just witnessed the 1983 World Darts Champion Keith Dillon not only beat but smashed that world record and set a new time of 25 seconds.
I thought it was intense. It was like we usually go up there for our first shot and practice and aim and whatever else. You had no time for that. Bang, bang, bang. And the funny thing about it was like we've got 2 professional dart players playing with like an amateur dart player who had the world record. And we were talking beforehand, so we were going to batter him and whatever else. And as it went along, I was missing 1 dart and a double to break it, 1 dart and a double. He missed 1 dart and a double, and I missed 1 dart and a double. Then he broke it by 3 seconds. And he got annoyed. And thank God he done it.
I think that the thing is that the game is that Dean's not a dart player. I mean, he's brilliant with the flipping the cards. But when he went 33 seconds, we only had 1 go left each. All of a sudden, the panic button kicked in because Eric was unlucky. I mean, I only had 1 shot, but Eric was playing better than me on the first few shots. And then the last shot, you know, I lucky took the 130 out. If I hadn't took the 130 out of the ball, Dean would still be world record holder, and we can't have that.
I'm Dean Gould, pub legend. from Record Holders Republic. I hold 36 world records. I hold various records for beer mat flipping. The most beer mats flipped in one go, which is 208. The most beer mats off the elbow, which is called beer mat snatching, 114. 2 piles of 65 beer mats at the same time. Also got records for coin snatching off the elbow, which is 328 10p pieces, or 374 1p pieces. I always wanted to be a record breaker when I used to see record breakers when I was a boy. So when I was a bit older, I actually started doing, I got into actually beer mat flipping, because the beer mats were sort of like easy sort of thing to get hold of. And I was sort of like good at actually flipping and catching and all that sort of thing. So once I actually did the beer mat flipping record, I had the taste of fame. So I went on to do other records as well. So I'm going to go for a record now for beer mat snatching. It's different from beer mat flipping. This beer mat flipping is from a table. This is actually from your elbow, and it's caught palm down like that. And it's a very difficult record to beat because it's eye coordination. And, you know, obviously the span of your hand, it's got to be able to fit the beer mats. So it's very difficult to do. 15. 115 beer mats have been counted. So we're looking at official world record here. If I do it. That was so near. New world record, 115. We've already counted them. Official world record, Record Holders Republic. 115. Official world record for beer mat snatching off elbow.
Evening all, PC World here. I've been walking through town and I think it's gone to the dogs. I was dying to go to the loo, but everywhere was locked up. All toilets and nowhere to go. And no phone boxes either. Easier to rob a bank in this town than find a toilet. So I went down this alleyway. I went past this squatting couple who also seemed they had nowhere to go. I said, evening all, PC World here, just checking at the bottom passageway. A voice said, do you have to do it now? Could you wait 30 seconds? Another voice said, what, 30 seconds? I went behind this tree for a wee. Out, and then a woman came out of this back gate and said, keep your noise down. I said, it's not me, it's the courting couple. I stood back and stood on this tramp's head. It started to rain, 9 pins. And we all ran from the alleyway to the bus shelter. We all caught the bus to the other end of town, where there's still no toilets. I was busting again. What's taxpayer money for in this town? PC World here. Good night.
Welcome to another Cup of Capo. Now, where am I? I am in Nassau County in front of the rifle and pistol range. I am with my friend Lisa and Jamie, and we are going to learn how to shoot 5 different guns today. Now, what is the point of today's Cup of Capo? It has to do with finding your target, your goal in life, and aiming right for that, and you'll know when you're dead on. And what better place to prove that than here at a rifle range? Now, I'm not allowed to shoot outside, and there are a bunch of people inside, so we're actually relaxing, as you see over there. Jamie's relaxing with a little picnic blanket, because what better thing to do than to hang outside a pistol range? But anyway, just remember, if you want something in life, keep focused, aim towards your goal, and eventually you'll hit your mark.
I'm Mr. Flashman, history teacher from Basher Street High School. We are a respectable school, middle class, posh. I had to put in this report of a new boy called Duncan Disorderly, a common child, little swine. It was a Thursday morning in my class when I just asked my pupils who knocked down the walls of Jericho. Duncan, the little swine, replied, I did not do it, and ran out of class. running home crying his eyes out, I was informed by Mr. Robbins, Batman as we call him, stupid man. During my last period of the day, Duncan Disorderly's father burst into my class, to my annoyance. He asked what I had said to upset his son so much. I replied to Mr. Disorderly that during the Thursday morning's history lesson, all I asked the class was who knocked down the walls of Jericho. Duncan said he did not do it, and he ran out of my class. Mr. Disorderly replied, if my son said he did not do it, he did not do it. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. Hi, Father. Yes, I know I'm in big trouble. I have the report here. It was not my fault. My hand slipped. Yes, I know I'm already serving a suspended sentence. I'll go to prison, Father, if the church finds out. What? You're going to tell them? If you tell the church, I will tell the church everyone's names. And your name will be on the top of the list, Father. Oh, thank you, Father. Lead us not into temptation. Just tell me where it is. Time for a prayer. Amen.
Welcome to another Cup of Capo. Now, today's Cup of Capo has to do with being prepared. Now, unfortunately, we all know about the tragedy, the disaster that just happened to Japan, where the earthquake that was measured at 8.9 and then it was upgraded to 9.0. And meanwhile, by the way, when you go from 8.9 to 9.0, that's not just a little bit, that's almost like 2 to 3 times bigger in damage-wise for the earthquakes. There's been a lot of deaths there, and while an earthquake cannot be prevented, what you can do is try to prepare in case of an emergency. Now, when 9/11 happened, my boyfriend went out and bought these masks. And it comes with the filter, and he bought these suits. Just in case there was a terrorist attack, we would be prepared. Now, did I go and learn how to use these things? No, of course not. Of course, this looks like it screws into here. I'm not quite sure. But what good is being prepared and having the stuff if you don't know how to use it? Now, part of being prepared is having an arsenal of things on hand. One of those things is a fire extinguisher. Again, something else I've never used. I assume you take out this red thing and you flip this up, but let me ask you something. When there's a fire, I don't want to sit here starting to read this thing and going, how do you use it? I need to have tried it once to figure it out. But one of the other things you could have on hand is to always have an emergency kit with flares, with a first aid kit. Have it on standby. You should have some of these things. Extra water in your house. I mean, what are you going to do? Have this little bit of water? You need extra water because that's usually the first thing that gets contaminated, and you want to be able to have that on hand so that you have drinking water. One of the other things, if you know that there's going to be something like if you live in a place where there's an earthquake zone, you take the precious things that you have. Some of the people have where they have little tapes and they have, it sticks to it so that the glass thing can't move during the case of an earthquake. Or you take valuables and you stick them on the bottom drawer so that if things go crashing down, then your heirlooms are safe. Find out where the fault line is in your area. And listen to the emergency broadcast system. There are things you should do, and also have a plan. I remember when I used to live in Jamaica, my dad used to say, well, if something happens, it's an emergency, and our house is blown away, where will we meet? And we agreed that we would meet at the hill at the top of Jamaica High School. That no matter where we were, we would all go to that top of the hill. Now, obviously, natural disasters, you know, we try as much as we can, but there's nothing we can do. But what we can do is it also teaches you teamwork. At that moment in time, all little things go out the window, and you all gather together and you try to help one another. Now, I just want to end with saying, try to have a plan. Think of teamwork. And I'm not quite sure because I don't have a plan of what to say to you from here. I got to get working on it.
Bye, bye, bye.